somebody doing a prayer? Am I just doing Atlantic? Not? Am I doing a prayer too?
No?
All right. We good? All right, we're good. Welcome everybody. Good Medicine Way, Albuquerque, New Mexico, on Monday evening, 6 o'clock Mountain Time. So we're welcome everybody who's on our screen and those on Facebook Live. That's great that you're there. I don't get to see you on my screen here, but Leah over here is tracking you. And I think Dave is also tracking other people who are on. And so glad everybody can show. I'm back with you today. I was gone here a couple weeks, and I made it back in time for this meeting here. I got back last night from Pasadena. Had a really good trip up there. A nice group. Wanted to learn about Native spirituality. It was a very spiritual formation group. Took care of me really well. And then while I was there, I got a chance to meet up with Joe Lopez, who's a part of our group here. He's over there. I think he's got his feet in the ocean over there in that upper right-hand corner. But we had a good time. He was in the area, picked me up, and he took me for a hair-raising ride. That he drives this mountain trail 2-track there like a sports car. I didn't get sick, but I asked him to turn the air conditioner on, and got cool air kind of calmed me down. But it was a great trip. We got to see an eagle soaring alongside of us, and then flew over us. It was a great time. But I hope to see other people on different trips. I'll let you know where I am and where I'm going. So I'll be in Anaheim at the end of this month, 28, 29. 30 October, I'll be in Anaheim with a group. So with that, I want to acknowledge the land that we're on here. We're on the land of the Pueblo people, and to our west there's the Navajo people, to our south there's the Apaches, and so we're here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We meet in the lower level of a really old, I think it's 92 years old EUB church that's become a Methodist church. And we have a nice facility down here. We decorate it to be very native friendly. Sit in a circle. And if you guys ever seen our setup here, we are like a TV studio, man. It's really cool. And all of you are on this big 72-inch TV, and we get to see your faces really well. So with that, I want to open us with prayer. I've been asking people to, because I've learned this from the Hopi people in this area, is to cup your hands in front of you. And as you listen to somebody pray, it's that when you're done praying, the Hopi say some words to acknowledge that they're taking in all of that prayer, and they're breathing it in, and then that's how they close out someone's prayer. So with that, if you'd like to join me in cupping your hands. Creator sets free. We come to you once again, doing your work, sharing the word, giving voice to people's stories, their ministries, things on their heart that we're able to share in the way we format that we have. We do this in a way that we can educate and inspire people to continue the path of ministry and spirituality that they're searching. We do this so that we can grow spiritually in our walk with you. And as we go on tonight, we give this meeting to you, all the songs and all the voices and all the thoughts and people who share their questions and our responses at the end. We pray for our speaker tonight too, as he brings us words of her journey. And with that, we ask this in Creator Sets Free. Amen. All right. Our opening song has been Essie. She is going to sing us a song. I don't know what song, but you're on now if you want to take it away.
Yeah, thank you. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Good.
All right, this song was called Wolf Song. A mother wolf sang this song when her babies were taken from her. It means, Mahio, you took pity, you saw me, you took pity on me when it was difficult. I repeat that to
Maheyo, Neva Sheva Mahe, Niso Peo Zeya He, Nito Varanto Zeya He, Ya He, Ya He, Ya He, Ha Ya Ho, Ya He, Ya He, Ya He, Ha Ya Ho, Ya He, Ya He, He Ya He. Ya hey ya hey ya hey ha ya ho. Ya hey ya hey ya hey ha ya ho. Ya hey ya hey hey ya hey. Ma hey yo. Ne va shiva ta ma hey. Ne so pe yo te ya hey. Ne to vara to te ya hey. All right, that was my wife sung with me too, so I don't know if you heard her voice in the background. It wasn't just me, so I can't take all the credit, but looking forward to the music.
Singing there, really good backup singing. Yeah, it's always good to add that voice back there. Brings makes us sound a little better when they sing along with us. So we're going to have a second song now. The Grover's going to have us hear a second song. We want to give it over to them right now.
So, when Umpetitdaka was lined up for speaking, she got really inspired by. Let's see, is that better, Diane? Can you hear us now?
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So Umpetitdaka asked us to do one song that appeared at the end of a Smoke Signals episode.
Or Reservation Dogs?
Oh, Reservation Dogs, yeah. The new Smoke Signal.
Oh yeah. We were talking about smoke signals because of John Trudell, right?
Yeah, got it in my mind. But anyway, so this was a song that was at the end of the Stay Golden Cheesy Boy episode, in which this one character, through this weird circumstances, ends up in a juvenile home, and it's really a bummer at first. But this particular character, because of a friend of his having committed suicide, determined that he really wanted to be a person that supported other people and made a positive difference in other people's lives. So even though he gets stuck in the juvie home, at first it's really a drag and it's a bummer and crazy things happen, and he's really kind of bummed out about the situation, but he still stays true to who he feels like Creator called him to be, and through the course of the episode he ends up influencing a lot of the other people that are in the juvie home. So yeah, it's a good episode, and the song kind of mirrors what happened in the episode, and it kind of goes with what Umpetitdaka is going to be talking about. And then I'm also pairing it with another song that has kind of similar themes, but it more kind of just sets the stage of, that when we have experiences in our lives that are difficult, that it's very easy to allow ourselves to get stuck there and to just kind of have these maladaptive coping mechanisms that just keep us stuck in unhealthy places. So we're gonna do that song first, and it kind of sets the stage, and it's called Cope. And then we're gonna do the song that's called Precious, which is kind of like the answer to the Cope song. And so, yeah, keep all those in mind as we sing. and hopefully all the technology will cooperate, and then and just whatever thoughts that brings up in your mind, just kind of hold those in your heart, and then and that should really bring something meaningful once Umpetitdaka shares her own story. So without further ado, here are the songs. Surprised my sorry, technical difficulty on this end, but we're getting all right. Here we go. I wanna watch it all fall.
guys, so good, man. We are so blessed to have the Grovers with us. Man, it's just something else here. Oh, as we go now, this week in Turtle Island, Leah Grover is going to be speaking now, giving us some probably information about Indigenous Peoples Day.
Do you have the little artwork sketchy thing I did, Brian? Because just to give an intro while he's looking for that, so the idea I'm planting in all of your minds right now is just to think of if you have an Indigenous hero or two or so, and you can, put them in the chat, or when I'm done, you can speak if you're on one of the Audible, Zoom. But here we go. Okay, so there was this Sacred Circle of One, and Jonathan Miracle, and the other guy, what was his name?
Terry Wellman? Pete Gerhardt?
Pete Gerhardt, yes. They were encouraging us, who is your native hero, and to write about it and talk about it. And anyone can email sacredcircleof1@gmail.com and to get a little link to come to that. It's a couple of times a month. So they were asking who's your Indigenous hero, and who I put is certainly 'tis Twiss and the rest of that gang of usual accomplices. But it's Black Elk and Gary Spokane and Kootenai Pele. It's Casey Church for hanging on to this vision for 35 years. It's Jigabikwe Campo and Kimberly Medicine Horn Jackson still carrying the torch for Creator Sets Free, though they were victims of the 60s scoop. And it's for Jonathan Miracle for creating all of the music for this movement of contextualized missions. And for those of you who've never read Richard Twiss's One Church, Many Tribes, or Rescuing the Gospel from the Cowboys, I super highly can't recommend them enough. But in that book, One Church, Many Tribes, that's when he talks about Gary Spokane and Kootenai Pele. They were these young Indigenous boys from around the kind of Washington, Idaho area. This was, I think, back in the late 1700s, early 1800s. And there was really just a lot of native Christians there at that time. So these boys were sent to seminary to learn about Jesus and bring the knowledge back to teach everyone. And they created all these hymns for their tribe. But as the white folks were stabbing westward and they met these Indians, they just were really completely rude and inhospitable to them and shoved them off their land. And they died in poverty, but still, clinging to Jesus till the end of their days. But so those are some of my Indigenous heroes. And if anyone has any now or later, go ahead and we can let people take turns.
Yeah, go ahead and raise your hand, and then we'll call on you. I'll start us off. I have an elder named Jim McKinney, passed away some years ago now when he was a Potawatomi elder in Kansas, who I connected with, and he was just so encouraging to help me along on understanding contextual ministry. He was already singing songs in his own tongue with a hand drum in his little Methodist church in Kansas. He was head of his Gourd Society and a traditional dancer. So he was living this life that I was just thinking about at the time. And as I moved forward, he was such a big influence and one of my heroes, Jim McKinney.
Mm-hmm. You got Jakai. You want to speak?
I'm going to choose Auntie Moani. She helped me go to WJEF in 2019, and yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. You got another out there?
All right, Diane.
Diane?
These are two people I've never met. Three, four. Richard Twiss, probably one of my first Native Americans whom I knew, and I have read, it's been many years, the One Church, Many Tribes. And then there would be Randy and Edith Woodley. It was when I was still working 15 years ago, and I would just spend my breaks going to their websites and reading Randy's blogs and letters and things like that, and Edith's. And fourth, I can't think of his name, the man who did the FNV and is now still working on the FNV. What is his name?
Another?
It's Terry Wildman. I had your mic on, Keith.
Terry Wildman.
Yeah. Yeah, because I have to give a plug here. Terry Wildman for doing the FNV and still working on it, because I was part of a webinar a few weeks ago. Does anyone know the name Len Sweet, Len? He is a Christian, but his focus is prophecy. In this webinar, at least one person asked, what Bible do you recommend? Is there a Bible you recommend? He named another one, but then his second one, he only named two. He named the first one, I can't remember which one that was, but then he named First Nations Version. And he was like up and down how great it is, and talking about how wonderful that, like, the names that they use for people are, for Creator Sets Free and all the, the different names for people. He's just, he couldn't say enough good things about it. And I've been wanting to share that with you all ever since then. It's pretty cool.
Very good.
That's all.
Thank you. Thank you, Diane. That was cool. Lynn Sweet.
What does Lynn Sweet do again?
It's Leonard Sweet, isn't it?
Leonard?
Yeah, Leonard Sweet.
Leonard Sweet.
Yeah, he's a theologian.
Yes,
prophet.
yes.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool guy.
Oh, we got
If you-
Lisa.
Lisa, share. Can't hear you. You muted?
Go ahead, Lisa.
Yes, I'm unmuted, right?
Yeah.
I just want to say I have a great love for Chief Joseph Riverman and his ministry, just like yours, Pastor Casey, from the east to the west, how it's really just shining from sea to shining sea, that we're really expressing the Indigenous people's way of expressing to the Creator. And I started to fall in love with the music a long time ago from him. And then I heard Good Medicine Way. And that's what really caught my ear. I heard the music and my brother said, "Are you listening to Indigenous music?" I said, "Yes, I am." And you're going to do. Yep. And he came in today.
Right. Thank you. That's good. Yep. We're spreading far and wide, little by little.
We got here on the YouTube feed, we got Ray Martell. He says, Richard Twist, Randy Woodley, Casey and Laura Church, Terry LeBlanc, among the living who have been mentors to us. Black Elk and Marshall Tall Eagle, among those who have walked on.
Yeah.
Do you know who Marshall Tall Eagle
Yeah.
is? Who's that?
He was a guy that always came to the family camp up there in Oregon. Yeah, he did it in his very, very last days. He showed up in a wheelchair and then just kept coming. He was so glad to be there every year, Marshall Tall Eagle, and it was always an inspiration. All right, Rebecca, unmute yourself.
I'm sorry. I have one for you. Robert Soto, Lepin Apache.
Yes.
He was on Round Dance with us when it was not YouTube. What was that? the other. Anyway, I just was admired the way he persevered to get his eagle feathers back from the FBI when they took them from their worship celebration, and he got the right to he got them back, and you got to use them again. So he's like a hero to me. He came to New York. I got a chance to show him around the city. That was wonderful. So
Well, that is
yeah,
great. Thank you. He's really good people. Really good people.
yeah.
He's always on the Sacred Circle of One all the time too. So you get to hear him there.
Say his name one more time.
Robert Soto.
Good guy. On YouTube, we have Miriam Cedillo's pics are Mark Charles, Queen Liliuokalani, Bishop Desmond Tutu, and the 14th Dalai Lama. And then should we have Eshe do his so he can pronounce all that? Teach us how to pronounce these words.
Yeah, I'll try my best. The first one I had was Hatui. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He was the Taino people. And it's really kind of crazy because today is Indigenous Peoples Day, but my wife and I and my little one are just coming back from like a water ceremony, a full moon ceremony over here in Savannah. And we were talking about how, with a couple of relatives of ours, how the Taino were the first people that were impacted by Columbus. How their population was decimated. And so Hatui's story is kind of within the context of that story. He was there's a really good movie that kind of showcases like for visual learners. It's a movie. It's in Spanish, but it has there's parts in Spanish, there's parts in English. I think it's mostly Spanish. Called Even the Rain. Really good movie talking about how indigenous history going back to colonization 400-500 years ago is still being repeated contemporary, and it covers more down south or southern relatives. But Dewey basically, the Spaniards came and they really were doing some awful things to the Taino and Arawak people, and they put the Spaniards were predominantly Roman Catholic, and so and that's all tied up with doctrine of discovery. So they came there and they put a bunch of Taino on crosses to mimic the 12 apostles. And priests would come up to each one of them and ask them if they like to repent before they're killed. And Hatui, when the priest came to him, he asked him, "Do you Christians go there? Am I going to see you there?" And yes, all good Christians go to heaven. And he said, "Well, I'd rather burn in hell." That was the last thing he said before he died. But I think they're sorry. I know I kind of ruined the mood. Talking about uplifting stuff, I just put a sense of heaviness. But I think there's a real power to as well to holy boldness, and in face of empire and colonization. So addressing that as well. But Rigoberta Menchú, she was a Maya activist. She was born in what is now called Guatemala and Maya people's homeland. And they dealt with the genocide in Guatemala and so forth, which basically turned out to be genocide. But she basically spoke out and did a lot of good for the people. So if you haven't heard of her, definitely check her out. I think she was even, I think she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her efforts and work she did. And she's a Christian as well. So she's definitely. I learned about her early on in my experience and reconnecting to my indigeneity, and she's definitely reading her book has helped me. That too, myself and all that. So I just wanted to share those two.
Thank you.
And Jean's right there. Gene Stevenson, you can say yours if you want to, Gene.
Oh.
Yeah, I just put down Uncle Casey, of course, and the vision that he and Richard and Terry and Randy have all put forth as far as contextual native expression of Christianity. So those guys, Uncle Terry Wildman, and the work he's done on the First Nations version. I actually attended a small multi-ethnic church this weekend, and I brought my First Nations version, and I sat down next to an older Navajo lady, and she was intrigued, and she started looking through it, and she said, this makes so much sense to me. And I gave her the copy, and it had the Good Medicine Way sticker on the inside. So the far-reaching impact that has had. And then, of course, Richard, and just how he was able to articulate the vision for contextualized native expression.
Well, thank you.
Umpetitdaka.
Yeah.
I would say my favorite she had many different last names. But she's the one who wrote Lakota Woman, and it's her story as part of the American Indian movement and the siege at Wounded Knee, especially that movie that came out. I was just watching that earlier, and she was definitely an inspiration to me, especially with my writing and everything. And my sisters used to tease me that I was Lakota Woman. So yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for sharing that. If you have others, you can put them in the chat, and then we'll see them. But I want to move on to Essie. He's going to be giving us our creation insights tonight.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just thinking about what to share, and I had as a matter of fact, on this full moon ceremony, I shared with them as well. But it really has been pressing on me. Just I've been taking counseling recently, and it's really been helping. But the healing takes time, and with that in mind, creationally, like you look at the trees, you look at even the human being and the development of all these different types of life, whether tree or non-human creature or humans, and all kinds of different types of life. I was looking at an avocado tree because we got a garden going. It takes like 13 years for the first avocado apparently to develop from the tree. It takes a while, and that just showed me that Creator's timing is not my timing. It's not always our timing. That creation has a different rhythm than we're used to. Being aware of that rhythm and putting ourselves within that rhythm is really important. And within the context of healing specifically, healing takes time. It's not an overnight process. And just trusting Creator, and Creator sets free. Trusting the process. Just trusting along the way, and not trying to control the process or figure it out, but just moving with it. So that's what I want to share with everybody tonight.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, the First Nations version is really reaching out there to different folks that I connect with. They're good responses, are encouraged to read it. Just, I know when I read it, it's like I've read the Bible in different versions before, but when I read it in the First Nations version, it's just like I say to myself, that's what it was trying to say. It's like it means so much when it comes from your own worldview. So I want to give it over to Preston Jones, who's going to be reading Philippians 4, 1 through 9 for us tonight. Preston?
see. Um, again, Philippians 1-4 and First Nations version. My sacred family members, how I long to be with you. You're like feathers in my headdress, making my heart dance. I've shown you how to stand firm on solid ground of the chosen one. So now, my loved ones, stand firm. Urgent counsel for two women. My counsel to journey women, Yudetas, and blessed women is for them to walk hand in hand in their life together with our honored chief. I also ask you, burden bearer, to be true to your name and help those women who have shared my struggles in the telling of the good story. These women have also worked side by side with walks with kindness, and all the others whose names are written down in Creator's book of life. Dance with joy and walk in peace. Always dance with joy before our honored chief. I will say it again, dance with joy. Let everyone see how kind and thoughtful you are. Our honored chief is close at hand. Do not let your hearts be weighed down by anything. Instead, with every step you take, send your voice to Great Spirit, asking him for the things you need. And in all your prayers, remember to give him thanks. Then the peace and harmony of the Great Spirit, which goes far beyond our small and weak ways of thinking, will watch over your heart and mind through the chosen one. Creator sets free. Last of all, my sacred family members, if anything can be seen as good and honorable, think deeply about these things. Things that are true and noble, upright and pure, full of beauty and worthy of respect. Follow the ways of life you have seen in me, the things you have learned from me, heard from me, and received from me. Keep walking in the traditions I have passed on to you. Then the Great Spirit of peace will continue to walk with you on this road. Creator sets free.
Listen, very nice. We're going to do announcements, and I was just thinking, and we look at the word offering. Just throw it out there. What is a contextual way we could present our tithes and our gifts in a way that we could change our announcement to say announcements and our sacrifice, our sacrifice of giving, something like that. Somebody come up with something that is indigenous but can express our giving of ourselves and of our tithes and our offerings. Just an idea right there. We're going to give it over to Leah right now.
All right, yeah, you put your answers in the chat if you think of something good to call it. But for now, the thing that is currently known as the offering, or any gifts you want, you can go to the Facebook group of Good Medicine Way, and right there at the top is a logo that lets you click on to donate through PayPal. And as far as our announcements go, the regular one is that all the women are invited to come Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And also for that, you'll find the link to the event right there on our Good Medicine Way Facebook group page under the events tab. You click on it and boom, there's the Wednesday night women's circle. And we're going through the book called The Lost History of Christianity, which talks about the first several hundred years of Christianity, like when it was big in Asia and Africa and the Middle East, and what made it last in some countries and not last in other countries, and how it was there to influence the beginning of Islam, and when the Buddhist monks would meet the Christian monks in Asia, and all the influence that had. So it's a very good book. My daughter introduced it to me, recommended it. So that is for all the ladies, Wednesday nights at 7 Mountain Time. Let's
Other
see.
announcements, anyone?
We also have our GDP primary conference coming up November 11th through the 13th, just as a reminder. Oh, can you hear me? Oh dear, that's not good. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure this out. But yeah.
Sounds good
Yeah,
now.
now it's good. But yeah, with Jesus Eat Flatbread, I was thinking that myself.
Yeah, it's gonna be in El Reno, Oklahoma. So yeah, come on down, learn about the Cheyenne Arapaho people and enjoy being in creator's presence. So yeah, look forward to seeing y'all there.
El Reno, Oklahoma.
And our very own Brian and Leah are going to be attending.
Yeah, with your very own Shandine.
And Sean Dean as well is going to be attending.
Oh, Joe Lopez says he's going.
All right, Joe. That is great, Joe. And I'm going to try to get Joe over this way as well. He wants to learn some things from here. So we're going to pray about him coming here often as he can. And we'll take him around and help him to learn some of the contextual traditions that we have. Also, I'd like to announce, I think everybody may know, but the First Nations version is working on currently the Psalms and Proverbs. And I was just over to Sean Dean's house today, helping her turn on her furnace and shut down her swamp cooler. And she was busy working because she's been asked by Terry Wildman to work for the next couple of years on Psalms and Proverbs. So she was busy sitting there at her desk working on different translation of how they could present this from thought for thought translation. So that's very cool. That's happening. Also, I will be in Anaheim at the end of this month here. So if you're in the area, there's going to be a meeting at the Native American United Methodist Church in Anaheim with Pastor Greg Douglas and many the Native churches and ministries from the West Coast, from Washington down to California. So that will be going on. If you want more information on that, you can just direct message me and I'll get you some information on that. Other than that, I think that's good. Unless somebody else has something?
I see that Claudette Carson for the, what's another way to say offering, a part of worship of the Creator. So I think I've heard of different people say that if you want to worship Creator with your tithes and offerings. So anyway, there's an idea.
Okay, we'll take them all in, we'll talk them over and we'll work out something. And even announcements, there's got to be a way to say announcements. Anyway, so let's think about those kind of things.
Shout outs.
Yeah, shout outs. There we go. Yeah, everybody. All right. Well, I'm going to give it back to Leah right now, so she's going to introduce our speaker. Thank you, Leah.
All right, our speaker for tonight, she's been coming to Good Medicine Way here for a few years. One of the many people who we've gotten to know, all because of having to go online for the pandemic. That's definitely been a blessing. So, Umpetitdaka Monroe, take it away.
Ooh.
All right. Go ahead, Julie, again. Hold on 1 second. Let me try. Is that a little better? A little better? Okay. All right. Good. Mike Tagubin, Duaya, Monika Veni, Moni Famino, Palme Dakyapi, Leam Paltuki, Yushkian, Napechi Yuzapi, Lewatiki El Diamani, Pina Diaglape, Noah Akito. Hello, everyone. My name is Kelsey Lubeth Monroe Draco. My Indian name is Umpetitdaka, which means white star in the Pawnee language. On my mom's side, I am an enrolled member of the Southern Ute Indian tribe. I am also the Kikahaki band of the Pawnee Nation, Southern Cheyenne, Oglala Shikangula Hota. On my dad's side, I'm the Oglala Shikangula Hota. Sorry, I'm having one of those nights, you know. being a little bit nervous. So I currently reside in the ancestral homelands of the Caddo, Comanche, Kiowa, Wichita Nations in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And yeah, I'd like to share a little something first before I begin. I got to speak for Good Medicine Way a few years ago, actually. I think it was 2020, I think it was, somewhere along those lines. But yeah, so it's been a minute. I was able to introduce myself better on the other one, but yeah, so I will be sharing a dance. I dance Southern traditional, Southern buckskin to be exact. I received this buckskin when I was 13 years old, and surprisingly, I haven't grown too much since then. So yeah, I'm a 5th generation powwow dancer, and let me see if I can get this going. Let's see. Yeah, it's great to be here, and I'm so glad that Good Medicine Way allowed me to speak again. So I'm very, very excited about that. So let's see. Let's get this. Okay. Let's see. Turn it up.
Southern thunder.
Can you all hear that?
On the earth. Just like it. Southern thunder.
You all can hear the song that I'm playing, or no?
Yeah, we can hear the song. The camera's
Okay.
still. If I don't know if you were trying to share the video too or not, but it's,
Yeah, that's why I was testing this out. So this
Yeah.
is I'm going to play a song so that way you guys can actually see me dancing. You know what I mean? So I want to say in the Cheyenne way, but I'm not 100% sure. My people will, when they're honoring someone, they will play 2 songs. The first one is kind of like an honor song where they dance together in the powwow circle, and the second one is a gourd dance song. And there's a really good history, really good story behind that, but I think I may save that for another time. But basically, the gourd dancers, the history of the gourd dance was that that when the camps would move, a group of like the warriors would go out first, and they would like basically dance to like put protection on the village that had moved, on the camp, and they would sing 4 sets of songs, right? 4 songs in a set, and they would play about 150 songs a piece, like all together. I think it was, they would start at a certain time, and then they would all dance in there. And basically it's like I don't know how to really describe that. Yeah, so let me go ahead and get this going. But that's what the honor song, the first song I'm playing is from Southern Thunder. It was from their Southern Thunder Live, back old school cassette tapes from like Indian House. It's a side A1 Pawnee song. So Southern Thunder, they're related to me through my grandpa, and they actually came to sing for my 16th birthday a long time ago. I had a powwow, and my family put it together, and it was a great memory. But Southern Thunder came over there and sang, and it was really awesome. It's one of those unforgettable things. So it's beautiful. So me and my little one Kisa are here. Miles is sleeping right now, so he's in the other room, but so she'll be joining me in this dance. So yeah, let's do this. All right, Kisa, ready? different dance song.
Yeah.
There you go.
It don't get no better than this.
And now for the gourd dance. Wrong one. Now for the gourd dance song. Thank you, thank you. Whew, that was quite a workout. But yeah, that's something like what they normally do at powwows. Whenever they're honoring someone, especially like asking someone to speak or something. It's like, yeah, that's what that is. um, but yeah, so we have the honor song and a gourd dance song, and that's the way that my people celebrate certain things, especially coming through what I have come through. Yeah, so let's go ahead and dive in. Let's see, and to share again. Oh yeah. So those res dogs though. Let's see. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Now, let's see. Can you all see the PowerPoint? Okay. So I have to move some stuff around. It's not working. Sorry, I'm usually a little more prepared than this, but today has just been one of those days. It was beautiful out. It was supposed to start raining here in a minute. Okay. Is that too much? Can you all still see the PowerPoint? All right. Perfect. Perfect. So y'all settle in because I'm about to tell you a story. So, okay. Tonight, I would like to share a story with you all. It began many moons ago, long before this cute baby danced in her mommy's belly, long before this young one, sooner born and sooner bred, started her walk with Creator and her ancestors. It began with a prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Most of us may recognize this prayer from res dogs or our own grandparents and other family members. Some may even know this prayer from their time spent in recovery. But for me, the Serenity Prayer is a prayer of healing, guiding me through the time that I spent planted like a seed in the dark, waiting to break through the surface. This prayer, shared with me by my beloved late grandma Betty Lou Weaver Howell, has acted as a basis for me to remember all that that was taught to me from her. Every morning and every night, she would pray to Creator. I remember those times I would go spend the night with her and just hear her voice echoing through the quiet house every single day. Can you close the door? Please. Sorry. Thanks. Sorry, I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit emotional when I'm reading this. So it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Every single day, she would lift her prayers to Creator. Every morning, she would have a routine. She would wear her house shoes to grab her boiled eggs and toast. And I can still see her in my mind walking into her room where her old westerns were playing or Vince Gill played while she painted her nails pink. To be honest, I tried to live my life as my grandma did in everyday life. Yeah, sorry. This was the first loss that I ever experienced in my life. Was when my grandma passed away. That was 2008. She passed away, and she was kind of the one who led me to start praying. He taught me about Creator, and he taught me like that I needed to learn about him so I could see. And so I'm like, yeah, that was the main reason why I became a Baptist, a Christian, was so that way I could see my grandma again one day. And for my beloved mom, Thella Beth Howell Big Leggins, aka Thella Beth Howell Monroe, the prayer she lifted up was that from the Psalms of David, Psalms 23, the famous one. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Many of us know these words as they bring us comfort in the face of uncertainty, as one of David's most famous psalms. To not be afraid and to follow in the path of Creator, even when peace is nowhere to be found. My mom shared with me a story from her childhood where she was walking home after it had gotten dark. She was fearful as she was uncertain if she would make it home safely. She held on to her children's Bible that was given to her by her parents. Psalm 23 was written there. The whole way home, she clung on to Creator's words and was able to return home safely. As we move forward, keep in mind the spirit found in these promises. These two special things my mom and grandma taught me. As it is stated in 2 Timothy, I will be reading from the First Nations version. 2 Timothy 1, verse 5, and I believe it's through 7. But so, fan into flame Creator's gift. I remember how deep your faith truly is. That faith that was alive first in your grandmother, woman who walks with kindness, then in your mother, woman who wins, Eunice. I know that this same path lives in you as well. This is why I now remind you to fan into the flame the gift Creator gave you. Creator has not given us a timid spirit, but one of power, love, and clear thinking. Throughout this time that I was planning to be speaking, I felt like 2 Timothy was something that really spoke to me, that came to my mind and kind of speaks to my story. So shortly before the pandemic overtook the world, I was led to attend a church planted where I was living at the time. It was a mini mega church. I call it a mini mega church because it was like the new wave Christian kind of feeling. And it was on the brink, like it could possibly be something that would grow to be a mega church. But anyway, it was a mini mega church as its following was great around the area. I felt a certain need to attend after hearing a song translated to Navajo from the pastor's congregation. It turned out to be a song that my grandma used to love singing from the Baptist hymnals. Jesus Ayoshone, or Jesus Loves Me. I remember when I first was able to join the praise and worship team. I made it my goal to try to learn how to sing that song. And every time that they would sing it, I would think of my grandma, because she just loved Jesus Loves Me. Yes, I know, for the Bible tells me so. Just kidding. Anyway, but yeah, that was one of her favorite songs that she used to have us singing as a kid. So to be able to sing that on the praise and worship team, that was a really great feeling. You know, I think I'm getting ahead of myself now. Not long after I decided I would regularly attend this church, there was a calling I felt in my spirit. I had hoped to one day be a part of the praise and worship team, to stand on the platform and raise my voice into Creator. That desire in my heart came to reality when the church had called for auditions to be a part of the team. I was accepted and was beyond excited to share with others the great feeling of being close with Creator. It was a wonderful experience, or it was a beautiful experience, and it felt great to be called, to be part of this divine plan. I was very proud. After several months of serving on the praise and worship team, I realized that I didn't completely agree with what the church leaders shared, especially regarding traditional lifestyles. During one of the sermons from a visiting pastor, he shared about his experience job searching. He was given a great opportunity to work for the Southern Indian tribe, which, as you all know, is a tribe I'm a member of. Everything he had ever imagined and looked for in a job, and this job paid very well through grants and everything. When he was asked to share his tribe's creation story, he didn't want to share it. His mind was changed about the whole thing, seeing as how the job would require his time on Sundays, taking him away from church. As he shared about his conviction against the tribal knowledge of his people, meaning he did not know what his creation story was. The pastor's family also stood up and shouted praises. He was talking about how only God could do something, how, like, I feel like there's a disconnect between, like, the Creator and the spirit inside, you know, like that's what I was feeling while I was listening to what he was saying. I was very put off by this, and it led me to tears, thinking that tribal and traditional ways were so hated in this church, because like the whole front row was up, super happy that this man turned it down for these certain reasons. It was very devastating. In my distress, I reached out to the assistant pastor and met with him and the church's secretary to discuss what had hurt me. In doing so, I was basically brushed off and turned away. I returned to the platform, just wanting to ignore the events that led up to the pain. And this picture was the first time that I actually heard my voice over the microphone. This is from Pi Day 21, 3.14, 21, you know? But that's where I was actually able to hear what my voice sounded like, able to really like feel it like coming out of me, and people were drawn to tears. There was like the most people that I've ever seen go up to the platform came up when I was able to hear that. And it was an amazing experience there. But yes, anyway. A week later, the acting pastor met with me. It was of high importance, and I was very excited to finally be able to speak with the church leader, not knowing what I was getting into. Upon meeting with this person, There were words spoken over me that were meant to hurt. The person started the conversation by telling me that they had a horrible feeling since I stepped onto the platform and didn't know why. They'd been searching for a long time to find out what it was. It wasn't just the acting pastor, but the pastor before as well. Their supposed insights spotlighted the fact that I was an unwed mother, too Indian, and the idea of my sinful ways led to the passing of my late son, Chante Kishni. All these things happened while I was on the platform, so it was a lot. They accused me of serving two masters and that I did not have Jesus in my heart. The reality is, this person knew nothing about me and really didn't want to know me. The founding pastor of the church had passed away a few weeks before our meeting, and I came to the realization that this acting pastor was only speaking out of grief and was looking to hurt someone, and I happened to be that someone. My Lulu that I would share during those moments when they would ask you to raise your highest praise, my was spoken as heathen, unholy, and irreverent, not in the exact words, but what was implied. I was removed from the praise and worship team effective immediately. Needless to say, I walked away from their office, spiritually beaten and broken. This experience reminded me of a story I once read in David Wallace Adams' book about the boarding school experience. It was a story about a boy who had been asked by a lieutenant colonel to share a song from his people. As he sang, other students joined in and lifted their voices. Their Lulus and war whoops rang throughout the auditorium. The whole of creation felt complete. After everyone felt lifted in their spirits, the lieutenant had quickly brought them down, yelling at the students that they needed to learn real music. They had been taught, they need to be taught the right way, according to his perspective. The children's spirits were hurt, much like mine. In this picture here, I drew that. I drew that actually before when I first joined the praise and worship team. And I never really knew what it meant. But looking back on it now, I can kind of see why this picture that I drew came to be. It's very strange, but even with all the pain that I felt, the bruising I felt in my spirit, the anger I felt towards people, and how I so desperately wanted to turn away from Creator, I knew that amid all the suffering, that I needed to forgive those who hurt me. And that was one of the first things that I started thinking as I was walking out of the office. After leaving the church, I went back to the path that was laid in front of me, returning to the sacred way of life that had been passed down to me. As small man instructed his son, so has my grandmother and mother. They shared the same teachings. So this part is from 2 Timothy 3:14. I think it's 14 through 17, but I'm not 100% sure right now. But this part really spoke to me because I was turning back to what I was not willing to give up, not willing at all to give up. Sacred teachings will make you wise, but you should keep following the ways you have been taught, the teachings you are sure of, for you know who it was who taught you. From the time you were a young boy, or in my case, girl, you have known the sacred teachings that are able to make you wise as you trust in the one who has set you free and made you whole. Creator sets free Jesus, the chosen one. All the sacred teachings come from the breath of the Great Spirit and help us to teach others about Creator's ways. They help us correct wrong thinking and bring lives into balance. They show the good and right way to walk the road of life. In this way, those who walk with the Great Spirit will have everything that is needed to do good things for others. With the resilience of my mother and grandmother, the way of life I was born into, remembering the love that each of them showed me in this life and the next, I found healing through the love of the mothers who came before me. In the same way, Creator, small man's walk of suffering has touched greatly on my life. The forgiveness, the love, and the resilience have led me on my journey and have given me the strength I need to complete this walk. As we read 2 Timothy chapter 3:10, small man's walk of suffering. But you have followed my teachings, my way of life, my purpose, and what I love. You know how patient I am, how much I love others, and how I have never given up. You also know how much I suffered, how they hunted me down to bring harm to me, but our honored chief rescued me in each of those places. It is a true saying that all who want to live their lives in harmony with Creator sets free Jesus, the chosen one, will suffer harm at the hands of those who stand against him. So it's just about trusting and believing, and those are the hard things that I'm still learning right now as well. So these are some pictures from my homeland. This one, I think someone actually took. I'm not sure. I think I borrowed this one from someone. This one I took outside of my grandma's house. And this one is by the river that flows through our reservation. So I would like to thank you all for allowing me this time to speak and to share this small part of Creator's good story. It's how I turn my graves into gardens. That's how Creator turned them. Thank you. Aho, doya, pilami api. I hope I didn't put anybody to sleep.
You were very, very, very good.
That was good.
It's those kind of stories that a lot of people can relate to. You know, it touches me because I went through many of those same experiences. And I wasn't a singer though, but I just could not practice my ways and then do them in the church. It was very heartbreaking. And when I finally did, in my early 20s, then I kind of set my sights on making a change and making a difference. And then in getting my call to ministry at 28 years old, I've been doing that ever since, trying to make a difference over 32 years now. So, good. So thank you so much. So comments. I know Brian is going to lead us through this, and
Yeah, I'll just moderate, so I'll try to keep track. But yeah, just at this point, if anybody has a comment or a question, you can toss it out there. Lots of thankfulness coming across the chats in all three places. So yeah, definitely appreciated your willingness to share and your bravery in sharing your story. And then So comment on the YouTube live stream. Someone was really inspired watching your daughter dance with you.
Yes.
They found that really super powerful and meaningful. So
That's the teachings that she'll remember that you mentioned in your scriptures there. Yeah, that you taught her to dance. Yes.
Just with the story of your church experience, it's so hard for a lot of people in the mainstream churches to just realize. I mean, they think, oh, we're just doing plain Christianity, straight and true, just the Bible, but they don't realize. I mean, it seems like it shouldn't be that hard to realize. Okay, this looks nothing like Jesus and his family, how they would celebrate and dress and the musical instruments. So, yeah, why is it hard for them to say, yeah, that in native culture should be bad or something? So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Is it okay if I try to share a song right now? While people are, oh geez. Okay, just hold on one second. Okay, is that any better or no? Okay, all right. Is it okay if I share a little bit of a song? Well, at least try to share a song because I haven't practiced this very much. Is that okay? Well, while people are thinking of some questions. Okay, this song is a Cheyenne song. It was often sung by Moses Starr, who is one of my relatives here in Cheyenne country. I'm related to a lot of different people, the Stone Roads. People know me from my great grandpa George Howell, from my grandpa George Howell. But he used to sing, Moses Starr used to sing these songs at wakes and funerals. It's called Jesus' Way, or Jesus Hemeo. Okay. Jesus Hemeo, Enoke Pavaese, Enoke Anese Omone, Neva Hestano Movahe, Vese Dontai Dano, Oishevane, Maheo Dason Naseo, Meo Ose Havon. Jesus Ahemeo Enoke Pava Ese Enoke Anese Omone Vena Hestano Movahe Veseto Dai Dano Oi Sheva He Maheo Dason Mase Hose Hove. I'm sorry, it's a song I haven't fully practiced. I listened to it many a times. My grandma Wanda Whiteman, she's a very well-known singer here in the Cheyenne country, especially around the El Reno area. She shared the song. I believe this is the one that she sang for the Would Jesus Eat Fry Bread conference, that mini conference we had in February, I think it was. But yeah, she shared Jesus' way. The words were saying, Jesus' way alone is good. It alone is true. Accept it. Rejoice because of it every day. The Holy Spirit will lead you. So yeah, that's something I wanted to share, just to fill some time.
very cool. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, sometimes the low songs are almost harder than the high songs. So yeah, it's interesting. Claudette shared in the chat here, she doesn't have audio or video on her computer setup, so, but she put in the chat, so many have been hurt by the church. We pray that God will open their hearts and minds to be and act as Jesus would. Which, yeah, that's like a really important thing and way too common. But I was also wondering, kind of bridging off of that, what made the difference for you to be able to like just not be angry at God and hurt about the situation and just walk away from the church? Like what made the difference for you to be able to recognize that, okay, what this church is doing is not Creator sets free, it's not Creator, it's just them. Like, how did you, what gave you the ability to see that difference and to kind of walk in a good way through the hurt?
I would say that what got me through all that pain and being able to just not really not let my heart turn cold, not turn away from God, was the fact that He still has led me to this place. I had a lot of big life changes happen this last year, so including getting married to my husband, and having our son here, Miles Spencer Jocko. But it was just hearing it on numerous occasions that this church did not like Indian people, to see like traditional people, I should say, did not like traditional people. And it was obvious too in the fact that a couple of people who were on the praise and worship team also had left. Yeah, he is my reward, for making it through that. Someone put in the chat, the baby is precious. But yeah, I was just remembering being able to hear that still small voice. Sometimes, like, I didn't really see it at first. At first, I thought this church was the best place ever and that it was gonna transform my life for the better, I guess. And it was just the certain things that they had shared in their scripture stuff, the way that they really were one-sided on everything. It was very hard to find a balance there. So but like, I would just remember, that my ancestors are always with me. Doesn't matter where you are, they're always with you. It was just, I don't really know how to really describe how it happened. Just remembering that I have to show my children how to do it, like how we were talking about. But I don't know. And just being forgiving. You have to be very forgiving. Because as I had mentioned, this person that hurt me, they were going through a very tough time, and there were emotions and things. Losing your family members really takes a toll on you, and just being, I don't know if it's gracious or something, I don't know, but just trying to remember that you're not above the other person and that other people have feelings too, that they don't mean some of the things that they say, and that sometimes these words come from places of hurt. And if you look at the way that this person was a non-native, both of them, both the pastors were non-natives. So It was like almost being able to see through false prophets or something. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe this. I'm sorry. I hope that still answered a little bit of the question. I don't even know.
Yeah, oh yeah, you definitely did. I mean, it sounds like there was a lot of power in being able to have a glimpse from creator's perspective, and being able to not just be like focused in on just what happened to you, but being able to understand that there was a lot of stuff going on. And yeah, I mean, I think that shows a lot of wisdom and maturity, and a lot of people don't get there. So yeah. It looks like Andrew has something to share. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, Umpetitdaka, Kelsey, I just want to say thanks and, with Adele for everything you shared. And I'm just getting to know a lot of people at Good Medicine Way. And I think I've probably known you a couple months, but one thing I've noticed just listening in and what you've shared is that you have a really kind, forgiving spirit. And that I know that has an impact on other people. That has an impact on me, especially because you have a kind and forgiving spirit, even when like justice is warranted against the people that wronged you. And I'm speaking specifically about cross-cultural, like dominant culture versus like native wrongs. And I just want to say thank you for that, because I have always struggled with anger. And as I've learned my people, Cherokee and other indigenous people, I come from those ways and that history, and even my family history, I've struggled with anger and wanting to not get revenge, but actually get fair, equal justice. And you've taught me that it's okay if we don't even get justice, which is very important for Native ways. I mean, I just feel like I'm imbalanced because the justice is not given to us. Whatever tribe or nation of Turtle Island us could mean. So I just wanted to tell you that I really, really appreciate that, because I'm having to learn to let go of even getting fair justice, or even an actual apology when something is done against me or other people I love for being specifically Native, for doing our ways, or looking a way that, there are some people that look at me and they do not like the way I look as a Native person. And that's deeply wounding for me, because they think that there's still a look when we look so different now. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for, it's like, if Kelsey can do it, I can do it. It's like, and I get really fiery. And even Dr. Randy has taught me, he's like, Cherokees are fiery. Like, we speak up, we get loud, we get rowdy even sometimes, and angry when injustice happens. But other people are teaching me, and even Randy is teaching me, sometimes the best thing you can be is you're quiet, you're forgiving, you pray for those people, and sometimes you just have to quietly withdraw, which unfortunately is sort of like a stereotype of what we get accused of. But sometimes that's all we can do as Native people, is just quietly withdraw from those people. So yeah, I just want to say thank you. I guess I didn't have a question, but yeah, I just want to encourage you, like, your struggles don't go unnoticed, and it helps other people. So, and all of our struggles as Native people, or mixed, or whatever we are, identify as, they're all different, but really, we all say the same themes. There's only a certain number of ways that Native people can get hurt by dominant culture, I'm finding. It's all the same tropes and all the same stereotypes and all the same, they hurt us in similar ways, whether it's which tribe or nation we come from. And it's so, I never knew that I'd find that much similarity with other Native people. So you do help. So even if we don't get what we deserve, the justice,
in this life, at least we can help comfort each other and learn how to be stronger and more resilient. Because when we forgive, we survive, and they don't take us. They don't make us extinct because we live on as authentic Native people instead of Native people that are ashamed to be Native, and we just feel like, okay, we just have to become white now and just live like them. So I just want to say thank you, and yeah, it just means a lot.
Yeah, thank you. That's really nice. Yeah, another little thing. It's okay to feel your anger. It's okay to feel it whenever whenever something bad happens to you, because I shared this in a podcast that a couple of my Jeff bros shared. But when you have your anger and you're feeling all that frustration and all that hurt and everything, it's very good to feel it. You got to feel it, because it will be your motivator. It will help you to change things when you allow your anger and your sadness and all those feelings to have their moment, because it's going to get you to where you need to be. It's going to motivate you to move from point A to point B. And once you're done feeling that anger, and once you accomplish what you wanted to accomplish with this anger, that's when you'll feel this moment where you can let it go. Like, you don't have to hold on to it forever. You don't have to stay angry. You don't have to stay sad. You don't have to stay hurt, because you'll feel it, and it will truly set you free. It's like you're going to hold on to it as long as you need to, and then you're going to let it go once you feel it in your spirit that you need to let it go. And you'll be able to do that. So feeling your feelings still, let it be your motivator, then let it go. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, thank you. I want to share with you just a few affirming things right now. I want to let you know that Umpetitdaka, Ken, Dave, Rebecca, Andrew, Diane, Joe, Kelsey, Essay, Preston, Heather, every one of you are welcome here at Good Medicine Way. With all your differences, with all your traditions, with all your Indianness, with all you have to share, it's that Jesus loves us the way he made us. We don't have to conform to the world that some of these churches have. You have a place here with Good Medicine Way. And I appreciate every word that every one of you share in this circle. That's what a group of believers is about. That's what being the church is loving everyone that's here. We are not the judges. We will stand before the judge someday. Our ministry here is to love everyone with all their differences. And that's what makes it so unique. I love you, Umpetitdaka. I love each and one of you. I want to let you know that you are loved and welcome here to share your story, to listen, and I pray that you are enriched by all the voices that speak into Good Medicine Way. I just want to share that. If I didn't say your name, I see them there, but I didn't get to them all. You're all loved very much.
One thing that I was thinking about when I was getting the two songs that we did together is like the first song we did, like that group that wrote that song, they're not native folks. They're like these Midwestern white guys. And it made me realize, and I think this kind of speaks a little bit to what Andrew was saying, that yeah, the colonizers did horrible things to native people, but when we begin to try to look at ways for restitution and healing and that kind of thing that happened, like that can't come from the colonizer culture. The colonizer capitalist culture does not know how to do healthy relationships. When you look at the cultural values and capitalist colonizing cultures, the relationships aren't high on the list. So if you're looking for healing, you can't really expect the colonizing culture to know what to do about it, because they've done horrible things to native people, but they do horrible things to themselves. Like they just are, the status quo culture does not know how to do healthy relationships. So you have to go where you find your healing. And I think that's back to the native traditions, because the native ways deeply know how to do healthy relationships. I mean, it's emphasized so much about how are your relations, being in good relation. You know, it's in the greetings. It's like woven into it. So that healing has to come from the native traditions, because the status quo culture doesn't have it, and it doesn't know how to do it. Yes, there are people who manage to have healthy relationships within status quo culture, but that culture is not built for encouraging healthy relationships. So yeah, we have to look to those native traditions for that healing. And I think what Casey spoke like just underscores that, 100%.
Very good.
Anybody else?
Good dates tonight.
Yeah, like Joe looks like he wants to say something. Hey.
Who's that?
That's Joe, I believe.
Joe. Joe in the
I'm
shadow.
in the dark.
Yeah,
I know.
it's Twilight
I
Joe.
gotta. Here, hold on. I'm in my truck. Almost Halloween. Yeah, I'm pretty peaceful in my head. Those Apaches and those Norwegians. So anyway, Kelsey, I thank you for your words and your prayers tonight, your dance. And yeah, it was very encouraging to see your gifts, and then also your lovely daughter dancing with you, twirling. That's a custom style. And I just wanted to thank you and encourage you. It's like, we're not alone. We have that in common if we're trying to walk in our ways and be a part of a church or the church. Like that's kind of our story, and I'm sorry. And yeah, anyway, those are my good words, and I'll stop with those.
Okay, well, thank you very much. So, like, yeah, I love this Good Medicine Way family. Keeping everybody helps everybody here. It's an amazing thing. Definitely takes a village to raise these beautiful babies. But yeah, yeah, thank you for letting me share. Thank you for your kind words, Joe. It's very good. I had an idea, but then I forgot what I was saying, what I was gonna say.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Well, let's hear it for, thank you so much, Daka. That's what we need to hear. Those kind of stories. They're strong. Sometimes you feel the rough side of life, and then you can share them here. That's the thing, is that you have a place to share those kind of things, and you will be heard and you will be loved, even though you went through all of those things. Yeah, we will all grow together through this. And I just want to thank you for being a part of Good Medicine Way. I love it that any one of you, if you want to be a part of our program here, text Leah and she'll plug you in. We just let you know that. And let's see, we're going to have a closing song by Ashley. And
I just wanted to say, Casey, thank you for guiding my talk tonight, because it actually came from a couple of questions you asked the last time I presented. These things hadn't happened to me yet. I wasn't ready to answer your questions that you had asked back the last time I was here talking like this. So thank you for asking those questions and guiding me tonight. Thank you.
well, sometimes I say something right. I'm glad it works out. Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, it was a really good evening. We'll take it on for our closing song with Eshe, and then Preston will lead us into sending off.
All right. So this song, it means thank you, Creator. Thank you, Creator. Your way we follow. Lead us well, and we depend on you, Jesus. That's what the song translates to. Ha ho ma hey yo, ha ho ma hey yo, ne ve yo na ne he ano ne, ne pa ve amio sheme no, hey, ne ne ve ta me poza me no, Jesus hey. Ha ho ma hey yo, ha ho ma hey yo, ne me yo na ne hey ano ne, ne spave amio sheme no, hey, ne ta pa ne to va se me no, Jesus hey.
Can you hear me now? Ah. Thank you, SJ. Thank you, Kelsey. Again, listen out for what Casey's saying. That he for that invitation. Even baby Miles took advantage of that invitation and started cooing, started speaking out to us. It was very wonderful to hear your story. So let's get in the moment of prayer and be able to receive the good things that are going to come from our night and our good day through the week. Jesus, you are a breath of air. You're a drink of water. You can flow through us, around us, and you help us wash off all things that are good. You help us wash off all things that are bad. Help us clean the air in our lungs so that we can have a nice, clean slate through you. You help us be able to feel cleansed, be able to have a moment of experiences to be more closer to you. You help us remind us when we look back on hard things to say, I was there with you, and remind us where you parts and when you were there, that you were there holding your hands, holding your, just wrapping your arms around us. During those times, let us remind us ourselves, even through our current times of hardships, our current times of difficulty and challenges, that you're there even if we can't see you. We'll take time to look back on these moments to remind ourselves and see you, finally see you there. Let's feel those moments with you. Let's hear those small whispers from you that of how much you love us. Thank you for the blessings of words from Kelsey, and thank you for allowing those moments to continue to grow within us and allow us to go through our week. In your name, pray. Amen. Thank you for allowing. Thank you for coming today, and we'll be here next week.
Blessings to you all. Love you all.
Yeah. Let's see who next week is.
Gotta go look outside.
Chickabee next week. See ya.
Good night,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Good night.
All right, we'll see you guys later.